So today we start the new topic, that is the lens. So we discussed under these headings. First we discussed about the brief anatomy of the lens, then we discuss about the physiology of the lens, and embryology is not discussed today. You have already known about embryology better. And then we describe about the function of the lens, then abnormality of the lens, and complications of the cataract surgery, and how to examine the cataract, and how what kinds of investigations are required to diagnose the cataract, and different types of cataract surgery. These are discussed under SGD classes. Here this is the structure of the eye. This one is the upper eyelid, this is the lower eyelid. This light grayish blue color is the iris. This is the pupil, this one is the limbus. Here is the transparent covering is the conjunctiva, and underneath white structure is the sclera, and behind the pupillary area this is called the lens. Normally lens is transparent, but in case of cataract its color changed from grey to pearly white according to the stage of cataract. This is the anatomy of the lens. Lens is a biconvex, transparent, avascular crystalline structure that is situated behind the iris and vitreous. Between iris and vitreous, placed in the saucer shaped facet that is present in the vitreous. And this one is the cornea. This is anterior surface, this is posterior surface, and the space between the cornea and iris is called anterior chamber, and this part is the iris. It is the cut section of the eye, and this pupillary area is the semicircular area is pupil, and this is the lens. Lens is basically have three parts. This one is the outer part is the capsular part, and middle part is the cortex, and central part is the nucleus, and the nucleus is having different kind of old collection of old and new fibers. Cortex is the newer fibers, and central nucleus is the oldest lens fibers. We describe the lens. It is a biconvex, transparent, non-innervated and non-vascularized structure. Non-vascularized means it is a avascular structure. There is no blood supply, and non-innervated means there is no nerve supply. Its anterior surface is less convex as compared to the posterior surface, and equator is the perpendicular of the antero-posterior axis, and its lens thickness is 3.5 millimeter, and it is also 3 millimeter away from the cornea. Then structure of the lens. It is having three components: outer capsular part, and middle cortical part, and inner nuclear fibers. So capsule is the elastic membrane. It is semi-permeable membrane which permeate the different kinds of particles, and it is constantly reproduced. When it is damaged, it is reproduced and forming the layers of lens, and its basal membrane is epithelium anteriorly and posteriorly. This epithelium is present from equator to the anterior surface, but in the posterior surface there is no epithelium, and here this epithelium is elongating and forming the posterior capsule, and its thickness is more at the equator, and it is thinnest on the posterior surface, and the thickness is gradually increasing towards the equator. This is the center part anteriorly, its thickness is increases towards equator, and posterior surface at the posterior pole, it is thinnest part of the capsule. That's why during surgery rent is occurring that part, that is called posterior capsular rent or PCR. It is composed of collagen, laminin, heparin sulfate proteoglycans, anatacin and fibronectin. Then epithelial cells. Epithelial cells, it is single layer of cuboidal cells. So these are cuboidal cells, and it extends below the capsule. This is the capsule, and underneath the capsule is the epithelial layer, and it extends from center to the equator. But towards the equator, its change in the columnar cells. Here it is in cuboidal cell. So distribution of reproductive capacity of the epithelial cells. It is divided into 3 zones. So in the central zone, its concentration is more, but it's a low reproductivity. At the progressive stage, zone are rarely reproductive. At the germinative zone, it is productive. And at the equator, its proliferative capacity is increases, and the transitional zone, that is the epithelial cells elongating the, here this is the transitional zone, here epithelial cells either is cuboidal cells, and here it changed into the columnar cells, and here that's why these are elongating and form the posterior capsule of the lens. Then cortex. Here is the diagrammatic representation. This outer black layer is the capsule. This is from here to here, it is anterior capsule. This is the equator, and this one is the posterior capsule. It is made of densely packed secondary fibers, and it is very little extracellular space. There is no cellular space. They are compactly packed. That's why they maintain the transparency of the lens. And if there is any disturbance occur in the these fibers, or there is separation or depositions of the fluid, that causes formation of cataract or opacity in the lens. So cortex is the peripheral part of the lens. It is composed of recently fibers. So these are recently formed new fibers, and its central is having the oldest lens fibers. That is called, oldest lens fiber is the embryonic fibers. Embryonic, and that's why this part is called the embryonic nucleus, and it represents the 1 to 3 months of the gestation period. Then we go to the fetal nucleus. This one is the, this yellowish color is the fetal nucleus. Fetal nucleus is formed in the during the from 3 months to till delivery, and this blue color is the infantile nucleus. Infantile nucleus formed from birth to puberty, and after puberty lens fibers are formed, that is called adult fibers. So nucleus, center part is nucleus, then embryonic fibers, then fetal nucleus, then infantile nucleus, and after that adult nucleus, and cortex is the peripheral part of the recently formed lens fibers. That's why cortical cataract is soft. Sutures are formed due to overlapping of the old fibers and new fibers. When new fibers are generated, they overlap each other, and there is the formation of these Y-like structures, that is called the suture, and it is anteriorly seen in the Y shape, and posteriorly where the fibers are overlapping, they formed the structure inverted Y. That's why in embryonic congenital cataract, some cataracts are appear in the Y form, that is called sutural cataract. Then characteristics of the lens. Growth of the lens. Growth of the lens is the greatest in the young individuals, and when age is increases, its growth is gradually decreases, and during the first 2 decades of life, epithelial cells and lens fibers are increasing rapidly. First decades means up to the 20 years of age, first 2 decades. 1 decade means 10 years. Then after that, formation of lens fibers is sludges, and mass of the lens at birth, it is its weight is 65 milligram. Then it increases 125 milligram up to the age of 1 year. Then it increases at the rate of 2.8 milligram per year till the age of 10 years. Then after 10 years, its growth is decreases at the rate of 1.5 milligram per year until the age of 90 years. Then we discuss here the dimension of the lens. Dimensions means its length, width, and thickness. So its diameter, this is the equator from here to here, that is called equatorial dimension, and anterior pole to posterior pole, this distance is called antero-posterior diameter. Its curvature, its posterior surface is less curved yet compared to the anterior surface. That's why its curvature is, radius of curvature is 6 millimicron in posteriorly, and its radius of curvature from center to equator, it is 10 millimicron, and equatorial diameter is, this diameter from here to here is 5 millimeter at birth, and it increases up to the second decade of the life, and its length is total 9 millimeter. Then it remains stationary. There is no increase in the length of equatorial diameter, and its thickness, antero-posterior thickness is 3.5 millimeter at birth, and it increases every year 0.02 millimeter throughout the life. Then physiology of the lens. What is the function of the lens? Its main function is the physiology, where how to absorb the nutrients and provide the nutrition. So it is, its first function is the transport of ions from aqueous humor to the inside the lens, and second one is the to maintain the pH of the lens, and the third is amino acid and sugar transport to control. And if there is any disturbance, if there is pH is raised or decreased, or amino acid and sugar transport, there is any abnormality occur in in diabetes mellitus or any metabolic disorders, then there is disturbances occur and that causes formation of cataract. So, there is no need to describe this thing, you have already known in your physiology and anatomy. And pH of the lens is the 7. Amino acid and sugar metabolism, it is metabolized by the glycolysis pathway, glycolytic pathway and hexose monophosphate son, glucose 6 phosphate and a pentose phosphate, and it provide the energy. Then this is the embryogenesis of the lens, you have already known about this. Then we come to the function of the lens. What is the function of the lens? Its main function is light transmission from object to retina and focus the retina, that's why we are able to see the object. And second one is accommodation of the lens. Accommodation is for only near object. Image rays coming from the infinity are directly focused onto the retina, that's why we are able to think clearly. But when we try to see the near object, there is changes occur in the lens and that is called the accommodation. And according to focus the near object, lens is a elastic structure and that increases its contraction and increase the thickness of the lens. That's why we are able to see the near object clearly. And this accommodation of the power is highest at birth. And when age is increases, its accommodation power is decreases. Then light transmission. The lens allows the 90% of the light and it absorbing the ultraviolet A and ultraviolet B rays, and proteins in the lens are arranged in minimal scattering power. And when there is protein level is disturbed or increased, then there is this transmission of the light is not properly done, and that is scattering of fibers occur and that causes blurring of vision due to disturbance in the protein metabolism. Then any increase in the size of protein or more protein or glucose, there is water content is increased or pH is disturbed, that causes blurring of vision. Then ways to lose the transparency. What are the causes that causes the loss of transparency in the lens? First one is the formation of opaque fibers, and opaque fibers occur due to metabolic disorders or there is absorption of the sodium and potassium ions. Their level is or a ratio is disturbed, that causes opaque fibers. Second is fibrous metaplasia, that is second cause of opacity of lens. Then epithelial opacification, if there is any injury and a deposition of calcium in the capsule, that causes opacification. Then accumulation of some kind of pigments in any metabolic disorders and formation of deposits of the extracellular materials. These are the causes of loose transparency of the lens, and if there is transparency is disturbed, then vision is also deteriorate. Then accommodation of the lens. What is the accommodation? Accommodation of is the process in which lens try to focus the near object, and to focus the near object its thickness is increase by contractions of the ciliary muscles and zonulars, and that thickness it allows to focus the near object, and this process is called accommodation. And when age is increases, the elasticity of the lens is decreases. That's why when age is increases, this accommodation power is gradually decreases, and it is highest at birth, and at the age of 40 years it is remains. At the birth it is 14 diopter, 14 to 16 diopter, but at the age of 40 it remains only 2 to 3 diopters. And abnormality of the lens. Abnormality of the lens means there is some congenital abnormalities and some acquired anomalies. Congenital means that is present since birth, in the when a child is delivered before birth, and acquired anomalies occur after birth. So, congenital anomalies. First one is the congenital aphakia. Congenital aphakia means, phakia means lens, aphakia means there is absence of lens. So, congenital aphakia means it is a very rare condition, and if lens is present absent since birth, it is called congenital aphakia, and its treatment is given glasses, contact lenses, but at this time IOL implantation is not possible. Then secondary aphakia. Secondary aphakia is disappearance of the part of the whole lens as a degeneration or absorption. Because of some reason the lens is found but it's absorbed, that is called secondary aphakia. Then duplication of the lens. Duplication of the lens means there is abnormality during the invagination of the lens, and there is corneal metabolism and a coloboma of the iris and a choroid. It is associated with the defect or part of the absent is that material is absent. Then microspherophakia. Microspherophakia means its size is spherical and its size is decreased. That is called microspherophakia. Then lens coloboma. Coloboma means absence of part of tissues. So, it is characterized by the notching of the equator of the lens, and it is caused by faulty development of the zonules, and the lens is thicker and more spherical, and this coloboma is present in the equatorial part. You have already known which part is called equatorial. So, and it may also be associated with the coloboma of the iris, means there is part of the lens is iris is absent, and it is also associated with the coloboma of choroid, means part of the choroidal tissue is congenitally absent. So, it is not single, it is associated with that condition also. Then lenticonus. In this case, lens is shaped in conical shape, and ectopia of the lenses. Ectopia of the lenses matlab when lens is present other than its normal position, that is called ectopia of the lens. It may be displaced nasally or temporally or upwards or downwards. Half part is present in the pupillary area and half part is present away from the pupillary area, that is called ectopia lentis. Then mutton drops dot. Sometimes there is small dense floating opacity is present in the posterior lens capsule, and small floating white color tissues are present, that is the remnant of the hyaloid artery, and there is no treatment is required for this condition. Then epicapsular star. Sometimes star shaped distribution here. See, the brown and golden flecks are present on the lens capsules, anterior lens capsule. This is called epicapsular star. And N-iridia. What is N-iridia? Iridia means iris. N-iridia means absence of, there is complete absence of the iris. And its anteroposterior pole, there is opacity is present. And this N-iridia is also causes given anti-glaucoma treatment and a corrective lens with shaded screens to reduce the light sensitivity. This N-iridia, iris, main function of the iris is to control the light and prevent glare and photophobia. But if iris is absent, then there is excessive amount of light is entered into the eye and that causes photophobia. So, colored contact lens are given and center part is the transparent and rest of the part is dye according to the color of the iris, and that mechanically prevent the extra light to enter the eye. Here abnormalities of the focusing abnormalities. When there is changes in the cornea or lens, it's a shape and shape that causes light coming from the infinity are not focused at the retina, but it focused other than retina, that is causes refractive abnormality. And this is three types. First is the myopia, second is the hypermetropia, and the third one is the presbyopia. In myopia, here size of the eyeball is increased. So, rays and the thickness of the lens is also increases, and the light rays coming from the infinity are not focused at the retina, but it focus in front of the retina. That's why patient is unable to see the distant object, but rays coming from the near object that are focused at the retina, they are able to see the near object clearly. It is also called short-sightedness or myopia. Then second one is the, and myopia is treated by concave lenses. Concave lens is the diverging or converging. Image is focused in front of the retina. So, we need the diverging light. We diverge the rays and focused at the retina. So, concave is the diverging and convex is the converging lens. And in hypermetropia, when the peripheral rays coming from the infinity, they are focused behind the retina. And in this condition, thickness of the lens is decreased and the eyeball is also in shortened, that is called hypermetropic eye. And image is focused behind the retina because of eyeball is smaller in size, and it is treated by convex lens. Then presbyopia. Presbyopia, this is not a disease. It occurs when the elasticity of the lens is decreased. When age is increases, its elasticity is also decreases according to the age, and it accommodates the near object, but its accommodation power is reduced gradually, and elasticity of the lens is reason of decrease the accommodation, and patient is find difficulty to focus the near object, but he can clearly see the distant object. So patient is only feel to see the near object or reading or doing some near find work, and it is treated by concave lenses. So these are the refractive abnormality: myopia, hypermetropia and presbyopia. Then cataract. Cataract is occur when lens fibers are replaced, transparent lens fibers are replaced by opaque lens fibers, that causes cataract. And cataract is cloudiness of the lens inside the eye, and which leads to the decrease in the vision, and the decrease of vision may be from 6:9 to PLPR, and PLPR is head movement are present when it is cataract is fully transparent lens fibers are replaced by the opaque lens fibers, and mature cataract is formed. Then vision is only PL or PR. What is PL and PR? Perception of light. And what is PR? Projection of rays. So this changes of lens fibers transparent to opaque, this condition is called cataract, and it may be divided into two types. First is the etiological classification, and second one is the morphological classification. So in etiological classification, it is divided into many groups. First one is the congenital cataract, and second one is acquired cataract. Third one is traumatic cataract. Fourth one is metabolic cataract, or that is called diabetes, occur in diabetes mellitus, galactosemia, and hypoglycemia. And third one, next is the radiation cataract due to exposure to the ultraviolet radiation, and next one is the traumatic cataract due to trauma, and next is it is associated with the skin disorders. Some kinds of skin disease are also associated with cataract, and some secondary cataract is also associated with the some kinds of syndromes. So congenital cataract, when it is present at birth, that is called congenital cataract, and infantile cataract is occur at the first year of the age, and after that cataract is formed, that is called developmental cataract. Developmental cataracts are appear after the age of 1 year. And this congenital cataract is also having many kinds. So first one is the polar cataract. Polar cataract, where it is present? Polar cataract is, there is two pole, anterior pole and posterior pole. So when it is present in anterior pole, it is called anterior polar cataract, and when it is present in the posterior pole, it is called posterior polar cataract. Here opacity of the lens capsule and a part of the subcapsular cortex are opaque. Then sutural cataract, I have already told you, that is appear in a Y-shaped. That is the oldest fibers, and these fibers are called fetal nucleus. So opacity is here present in the fetal nucleus. That is the oldest lens fibers. Then nuclear cataract, when opacity is present in the embryonic nucleus. So, in nuclear cataract, it may also involve the embryonic nucleus as well as fetal nucleus. Then capsular cataract, when it involves the anterior capsule, it is called anterior capsular cataract. When it affects the posterior capsule, it is called posterior capsular cataract. Then lamellar cataract. Lamellar cataract is the most common type of congenital cataract. Here opacity is present in the specific layer of the lens fibers, and it affect the in a form of layer. Anteriorly it is clear, posteriorly clear, but some fibers are changed, and that is called lamellar cataract. Then complete cataract. Complete cataract, in this condition whole of the lens fibers are opaque, there is no transparent fibers. But in case of lamellar cataract, some fibers are opaque and some fibers are transparent. Only a particular layer is involved, that is, it's called lamellar cataract, and it is complete opacification of the lens fibers. Then causes of the congenital cataract. What are the cause of congenital cataract? First is the heredity. Second one is the genetic disorders, trisomy, that affect the chromosome 21, 13 and 18. And metabolic disorders, diabetes and galactosemia, hypothyroidism and hypoglycemia. These are causes of congenital cataract. Then in pregnancy period, when lady is suffering from the rubella infection, that is the also cause of congenital cataract. Then ocular anomalies, I have already told anomalies of the coloboma, that is the part of the tissue is absent, that is the coloboma of iris or coloboma of choroid, coloboma of lens. It is also associated with this anomaly cataract, that is called ocular anomalies. Then systemic syndromes, Solos syndrome and Potter's syndrome. This syndrome is also associated with cataract. Other than cataract, it is associated with the other symptoms. Then dermatological disease, some skin disorders that causes congenital cataract. So these are its etiology. Then acquired age related cataract. Acquired age related cataract is also divided into many groups, that is nuclear cataract, cortical cataract and anterior capsular cataract and anterior and posterior capsular cataract and anterior and posterior subcapsular cataract that affect the capsule as well as the peripheral part of the cortex. So nuclear cataract. Nuclear cataract is gradually it is hardening and a yellowy color of the changes occur in the nucleus and leading to the impairment of distant vision. And cortical cataract is hydration of the cortex and it develops the subcapsular vacuoles and the transparency of the cortex is changed and the cortex is changed from transparent to opaque, that is called cortical cataract. Then anterior subcapsular cataract, epithelial cells becomes elongated and spindle shapes, and when any trauma in the central epithelium or patient comes to contact with the ultraviolet radiation, that causes opacity in this layer, and this cataract is called anterior or posterior subcapsular cataract. When it affects the anterior part, it is called anterior subcapsular cataract. When it affects the posterior part, it is called posterior subcapsular cataract. And advanced posterior subcapsular cataract, then advanced cataract. Advanced cataract means complete opacification of the lens. Here we cannot differentiate it is cortical cataract or nuclear cataract. Nucleus as well as cortex all are opaque and opacified. So this is the diagrammatic representation. This brown color is the which cataract? Nuclear cataract. When only nucleus is opaque, it is called nuclear cataract. And polar cataract is two types, anterior polar cataract and posterior polar cataract. This one is the anterior polar cataract and this one is the posterior polar cataract. Then cortical cataract, this is the cortex, light blue color part is the cortex. When cortex becomes opaque, it is called cortical cataract. Then this is the posterior subcapsular cataract. This blue line is the capsule and this light blue color is the cortex. So when it involves the capsule as well as here present the subepithelial tissues, and it starts from the center and it gradually grows towards the equator, downwards and upwards, and it affects the center part, nodal part. That's why diminution of vision occur early in case of the posterior subcapsular cataract. But in cortical cataract, only peripheral part of the lens is involved first, then it gradually grows towards the center part of the nucleus. And center part is clear, only peripheral part is opaque. So patient is able to see in the daylight because of constriction of the pupil. Opaque part is covered by the iris, and vision deterioration of vision occur in later period of life. But in posterior subcapsular cataract, when at a daytime when pupil is constrict, light rays coming are passing through this nodal point, so they are unable to cross this line. That's why diminution of vision is occur in early in case of the posterior subcapsular cataract. Then this is the traumatic and toxicity related cataract. Systemic disorders associated with the cataract. So here we complete the all classification of congenital and acquired cataract, and the next time we discuss one by one every different types of cataract, then how to examine the case and what are the process of formation of cataract, that is stages of the cataract. So you have to read these disorders and come next time after reading properly. And these are the dermatological disorders. Then some cataract is associated with the central nervous system, and other eye diseases are also associated with the cataract. These are glaucoma, uveitis, retinitis pigmentosa, gyrate atrophy, degenerative myopia, retinal detachment, tumors and infections. So here over this class. Thank you.